Sparkle Squad, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jasmine and welcome to my channel. Today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, I am doing a Q&A video. So I posted a thing on my community tab asking you guys to ask me some questions, and I also posted something on my Instagram story where I asked you guys to give me some more questions, and I ended up getting 35 questions on my YouTube channel, and I ended up getting 38 questions on my Instagram story. So now I'm going to be trying my very hardest to answer all of you guys' questions in this video, and without further ado, let's get started. Which lady skater are you rooting for in the upcoming Olympics? So when I was watching Nationals, I really liked Amber Glenn skating because she is such an amazing skater, and like both artistically and her jumps are also amazing. So I'm really hoping that they'll have a spot for her in the Olympic team, and I really hope that she can make it to the Olympics because it would be so much fun to watch her skate. Which of the Russian girls do you want to make the Olympic team next year, and which of the American girls? So for the Russian girls, I would say that I really hope that Anna Shibirkova makes it on the Olympic team because I really like her skating both artistically and also her jumps because she's such like a skater like that is well-rounded and she's good at both sides of skating. So I really hope that she'll be able to make it on the Russian Olympic team. And then for the American skaters, I would say Amber Glenn, like I mentioned earlier, because I really like her skating, so I really hope that she'll have a chance to go to the Olympics. What is your favorite jump, spin, move, etc.? So my favorite jump would either be a double axel or a double toe. You guys could probably guess double axel because I record so many axels. And my favorite spin is either a change edge camel, and it's in between a butterfly and a death drop because I like both of them and they're both like flying spins. And then my favorite move is either my split jump or a spiral. What jump spin did you find the most challenging to learn? So for my jump, I would definitely say that was my double sow because it took me over 2 years to get my double sow, and it was just really frustrating and everything. And it was when I first started skating, like a couple years after that, and it just took me really long to get my double sow for some reason that I have no idea why. And then for spin, I would say the one that took me the longest to learn would be my layback because I always hated laybacks because of how dizzy it would make me, because just looking up and like the ceiling when I was spinning would make me so dizzy that I would almost throw up sometimes. So, and then last year I learned a trick and now I don't get as dizzy, so that's good. What other sports have you practiced and which ones do you like? So I've done ballet actually like twice. I did it when I was younger, and I've also did like a little when I was older. And then I did cheerleading for a little bit, and then I also did gymnastics, and I think my favorite would definitely be gymnastics out of all three of those because it's the most like skating because you can do like flips and stuff and you're like flying and stuff like that, so it's almost like the ice and doing jumps. Who is your favorite skater of all time? So I actually have a couple of skaters. So I would say Sasha Cohen, Tara Lipinski, Ashley Wagner, Jason Brown, and Yuzuru Hanyu. Those are definitely my 5 favorite skaters. And fun fact, when I was younger, there was this judge that came to my rink randomly just to like skate and stuff like that, and she saw me skating on the ice, and when I got off of the ice, she told me that I reminded her of Sasha Cohen, and that made me so happy because she like compared me to like one of my favorite skaters, so I was so excited after that. What is your dream job? So I actually have a couple, so I have some to choose from. I would say that one of them is definitely to be a coach because I really like coaching, like learn to skate and teaching all like the little kids, so hopefully one day I'll be able to have my own students and I can teach them to be super duper amazing and good skaters because that seems like a lot of fun. And also I want to make a movie. I want to make my very own movie, and like it would be amazing if it could win an Oscar because that would be so cool. So I really want to direct a movie, and I also would have any job in like electronical field, like computers or anything like that, because I really like electronics and like computer stuff. Also, do you have any mental strategies or tips on getting over senseless fears related to jumping? So actually, I'm not really good at this either, so if you find out any things that can help you, please let me know because I need some tips as well. Because my problem is that whenever I do something, you guys know that in my last video when I did like my jumping through the week, I hurt my hip on Tuesday doing a triple toe, and it's gone away now, so I'm happy about that. And like it doesn't hurt at all anymore, and I try to do a triple toe and I keep popping it like 50 times over and over again, and it's so annoying because in my head I'm like, okay, you can do this, you're gonna go for it, you're gonna land it, or whatever, and then I just don't do it. So it's really hard for me to figure out how not to do that. So if you come up with anything, please let me know. Which ice skating champions do you know, and which one is your favorite? So I don't know if I have a favorite, but I know a couple. I know Meryl Davis and Charlie White. I've met Ashley Wagner, I've met Gracie Gold, I've met Adam Rippon, I've met Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, I've met Paul Wiley, I've met Jason Brown on a Zoom call before, so I technically met him, and he asked me a question, so that technically means I talked to him. Anyways, so I met him, and then, did I say Paul Wiley? Okay, anyways, and then I've met Mark Lawig because, funny story, at a competition when I was like a little tiny little baby, I was skating on the practice lines, and I went up to him and I was like, can you play my music for me? And I had no idea who he was. He was like, okay, sure. Okay, and then also at the same competition a couple of years ago, I met Tara Kane and Danny O'Shea, and they're really good pair skaters, and they're also really, really nice. And funny story, again, I was doing a Lutz in the corner of the ring, and they were doing like their pairs program. Danny didn't see me behind him, so he just went and did his Lutz, and he almost ran me over, so yeah. And then I would say that my favorites would be Ashley Wagner, Jason Brown, and Meryl Davis and Charlie White because they're also my favorite skaters, so yeah. What is the best costume you have ever gotten to wear? I don't do that many shows or exhibitions to have like that many costumes, but my favorite skating program dress would definitely be my short program dress because it's so pretty and I love it so much because it's sparkly and everything. And I just love like the design of like the tuxedo and everything. It looks like really nice. So yeah. What are your goals in skating? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to compete professionally, etc.? So I definitely want to be a coach, as I mentioned earlier, because I love teaching little kids about skating and because it's so much fun to me. And also for my goals in skating before I would become a coach, I want to make it to nationals as a senior skater and place well because there are so many amazing skaters out there and so many are like coming up and becoming really good skaters as well. And everyone's goals is to go to the Olympics, and that is my dream as well because that's like the biggest thing ever to say that you went to the Olympics. But there's a bunch of skaters out there, and if I can't make it to the Olympics, I just want to be able to go to nationals as a senior and say that I did really well. Do you have any tips to improve my double sow and loop? I'm really close, but I still need to work on them. For sow, I would say that one very important thing to do that I didn't do for a while and I only just started doing, which helped my double sow a lot, is when you do it, you want to make sure to bring your foot all the way through in front of you. I'm trying to explain it the best I can, but when you go and do your sow, you want to take this leg, if you're a righty, your right leg, and bring it all the way in front of you and like slide it on the ice. That's what I do and it helps a lot. And when you jump, you want to bring it all the way through in like an H shape because that helps you get a lot more air. And then after you get that H, you can just like pull in super duper tight and then you should be able to finish your rotation since you get more height on your jump. And for loop, I don't have that many tips on loop, but one main important one is that if you do your loop, you're gliding like this and you have to bring this knee up, your left knee, as far as you can up so that you're able to like get even more height, almost like the same concept as like the sow. And if you have like more height on your jumps, then it's easier to finish the rotation and it'll also be a lot easier to land. Tips to get over a mental block. I'm working on double axel and triples and I can do them on the harness without being lifted at all. I just tense up off the harness. So for a mental block, I'm really bad at this because I get them myself, so I'm working on them. But something that I did find that helps me a lot is like in my head, because your brain controls everything that you do. So when you go to do something, I just tell myself over and over in my head that I can do it. I'm like, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. I'm just going into it. And also another thing that I do, and if I'm popping a jump a lot, something that I just start doing in my head is I just like, say for instance, I started popping my triple toe after I hurt my hip. Every single time I go into my triple toe, I pop it a bunch of times, and then after I get annoyed after that, I just start saying in my head, I'm like, triple toe, triple toe, triple toe, when I go and do it. And for some reason it helps. So it kind of like brings out your muscle memory or something, and it helps you actually go up and rotate it. So hopefully that helps a little bit. How many hours do you skate per day/week? What is your favorite skating movie, show, and book? Who is your favorite skater, and what is your favorite jump, spin, etc.? So I'm going to start off with the first one, which is how many hours do I skate per day and per week? So I skate 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, which means 12 hours a week. And before the pandemic, I used to skate more hours on the ice, but after the pandemic, I'm only able to skate 2 hours on the ice, but I'm still able to skate 12 hours a week. And my favorite skating movie is Ice Princess, because that is a movie that made me start skating, and I love all of them. But the problem is that they are all like so unrealistic, especially in Cutting Edge, where they had like the Panchenko, or what it's called, where like the guy did this and like threw her up in the air and she went flying. And then later I thought it was all real, and then later I realized it was all edited, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so for my favorite show is this one series episode thing on Disney Plus, and I just started watching it with my mom, and it's really good. It's not like figure skating related, it's about a hockey team, but it's still ice related, and it's really, really good. And in one of the episodes, they brought back one of like the older hockey player guys on like the old team or whatever, and he went out on the ice and did a whole single axel and a butterfly and hockey skates. And I was like, what? And I was so unexpected. And the show is called The Mighty Ducks Game Changers, and it's really, really good. And my favorite book, I haven't read skating books in a while, because I haven't found any new ones. But when I was younger, my favorite book was Dream Big Little Pig, and it's by Christy Yamaguchi, and that was my favorite book ever, and I read it like 50 times over and over again, and I still have the book. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite one when I was younger. And what is my favorite skater and my favorite jump and spin? I've already answered those questions before, so I'm not going to answer them again. What do you think about all the Itiri girls on the national team, plus only Lisa? Do you think it's good for Sasha to have gone back to Itiri for only for the Itiri bonus PCS? So, on the national team, I haven't watched much Russian skating because I haven't had much time, but I have been keeping up with the Russian drama because I've been seeing them on Instagram and stuff like that. But I don't have much to say about the national team, and my favorite skater though on the national team is Anna Shubrakova, so I'm really happy that she did make it. And do you think it's good for Sasha to have gone back to Itiri, or only for the Itiri bonus PCS? So again, I haven't watched much skating, and I don't know much about like the Russians and like the coaches and stuff like that. I should probably look into it more because they're like the rulers of skating. So I don't know much information about it, and I mean, I'm happy for Sasha to have gone back to Itiri, because I mean, she's been with Itiri forever, and like that's her coach and everything like that. But also, I don't really know how to explain this, so I'll definitely have to look into it more, and if I have like a better opinion on it, then I'll definitely make sure to let you guys know. Do you wish to compete at the Olympic level? Till what level do you wish to pursue your competitive skating career? And at what age do you expect to retire? As I mentioned earlier, everyone's dream is to go to the Olympics, but again, there's so many skaters and it's really hard to go. But definitely I want to make sure, I want to make it to the senior level and compete at senior, because that's like a really good achievement, and if I've been skating for this long already, I might as well make it to senior, and I really hope to make it to nationals as a senior skater. So, and also, at what age do I expect to retire? And hopefully it's not anytime soon. Hopefully, like, the minimum age for me would be 20, but hopefully I'll be able to still skate till, like, forever. But, like, competitively, I want to make it until 20. How did you discover figure skating, and why did you want to pursue it? So, if you guys didn't know, I've mentioned this a couple times, that the reason I started skating is because of the movie Ice Princess. It's a Disney movie, and it's amazing. I've watched it like 10 times over and over again. It's like the best movie ever to come out, and it's probably the most realistic figure skating movie too. But anyways, besides the point, when I was like 3, my dad put it on the TV, and I loved it so much. After the movie was over, I was like, Jazz and Ice Princess, over and over again, because that was like the title of the movie. And my parents thought I was crazy for thinking that there were ice rinks in Florida. My mom was like, Jasmine, I don't think there's ice rinks in Florida. But then we actually ended up finding one that wasn't too far from where we lived, and I was really happy about that. And ever since my first time on the ice, I've loved it, and now I'm here. How do you get over fear of falling while skating? So this is something that's different for every person. I've never been that afraid of falling while skating, because even when I was younger, I would like fall and almost hit my head on the ice. My mom would be like, oh, and I would just stand up and start laughing. But this is again different for everybody, and I would just say that definitely when it's like you're working on new jumps or just new elements and it's something that you're afraid of to fall on, then I would recommend using like elbow pads, knee pads, butt pads, everything like that, because you're on a practice session and no one's judging because everyone else does the same thing, and it'll just help you get used to like falling and without hurting yourself, obviously. So yeah, that'll probably help you if you can have like more padding so that when you fall, it won't hurt as bad. Top 3 favorite lady skaters of all time, not necessarily currently competing, and why? So I've already answered this question, but my top 3 are definitely Sasha Cohen, Tara Lipinski, and Ashley Wagner. And the reasons are that I love Sasha Cohen because, one, she is literally so flexible. Like, her spiral is like, anyways, and she's like so good, and she does all of like these cool like skating and like connecting moves. Like this one thing that she does, like this spiral, where she's like gliding in a Y spiral, then she just turns around randomly out of nowhere, and she just goes forward at like full speed, and I haven't seen many skaters do that, and it's just so cool to watch her do it. And I also really like her Sasha spin. A lot of people call it I spin, which I'm very annoyed at because she's like the original creator of it, and I just feel like she should get credit for it. And why do we have to name it an I spin? Because she... Anyways, and then I love Tara Lipinski because she made it to the Olympics really, really young, and I admire her for that because it takes a lot of work to make it to the Olympics, and she did it while she was super young, so that's amazing. And Ashley Wagner is because, one, she is probably one of like the oldest skaters that I've seen that competes competitively and like such high levels, and she is so amazing. And some people will disagree with me on this, but for me, the artistic side of skating is more important than the jumping side of skating, and Ashley Wagner is one of the best artistic skaters out there, and I just love watching every single one of her programs because she makes them look so good, and she always like entertains the audience and everything like that. What is your main goal in figure skating, and will you compete with your triples? So my main goal, as I mentioned earlier, is to make it to nationals as a senior lady and obviously skate good and hopefully make it on the podium, because that would be so cool to say that I made it on the podium at nationals as a senior. And my competing with triples, I really definitely want to skate with like my triples and compete with them, and I really hope that I'll be able to like land them in my programs. So I still have some time to get them prepared and get them more consistent so that I'll be able to do them in my programs, and hopefully we'll have some competitions later this year that I'll be able to compete at with my triples, and hopefully skate clean and land my triples in my program. What is your worst injury you've ever gotten from skating? I am really lucky that I haven't had that many like super bad injuries. So my main two, I have two that were pretty bad. My first one was when I was 7 years old, and I directly remember this because I got 7 stitches, and me and this one girl were at a competition on a practice ice. We were both going backwards without looking behind us, which is really stupid, and we crashed into each other, and the girl ended up being okay, and her blade cut my arm right there, and you can still see the scar. It's still there, and from like close up you can see it. And yeah, they wanted to glue my arm shut, and I said no. So they ended up doing stitches. And then the second one would be when I hurt my ankle. I hurt it last year, and the first time I hurt it, I was doing a triple loop, and I didn't actually realize I hurt it until I like took my skate off and realized my ankle was super swollen. So I like finished the whole session with like a swollen ankle, and I didn't even realize. And then I was able to skate after that, like the days after. But then I hurt it again 2 weeks later doing a triple flip, and since the other one wasn't completely healed, this one hurt even more, and I wasn't able to get back on the ice after that, after I hurt it. And then this was on a Saturday when I hurt it the second time, and then on Monday I was already back on the ice, and I wasn't able to go full out, but I was able to do mainly like most of my singles. I wanted to try doubles, but my mom got mad at me and she was like, no, you are not doing doubles with a hurt ankle. So yeah. You recently passed your junior freestyle test, so does that mean you have to compete at the junior level or stay at your current? Are you novice? Yes, I am in novice currently, but I just passed my junior free skate, as I told you guys. And after you pass a free skate test, you aren't allowed to go backwards, like in levels. So since now that I have my junior free skate test, I'm not allowed to compete in novice at all at any competitions whatsoever. So novice is completely out of the frame or like picture. I'm only allowed to compete in either junior or senior at some competitions, excluding like qualifying competitions like regionals and stuff like that. So this year I am going to be competing junior, so wish me luck. Can we send you an email, because in the descriptions I saw you said it. You were fantastic. First, thank you. And yes, all of you guys can send me emails, because I always have my email address in the description box if you guys have like questions or anything you want to ask me. And I try my best to respond to those. So those are in the description box. And also, if you want, I also have my P.O. box down there. So if you guys want to send me like handwritten letters or something like that, that would be cool. You can send them to my P.O. box. And those two are always in my description box on all my videos. How did you learn to bend your knees enough when skating? Honestly, I don't have a direct answer to this, because I don't really know, like, remember learning how to bend my knees when skating. But I know that, like, I saw a lot of, like, the top level skaters, like, bending their knees more and being, like, more graceful and everything like that. And after just seeing them do it, because it makes your skating look so much nicer, I guess I just worked more on bending my knees on the ice. I don't remember, like, working on it, but, like, I guess I just tried to apply it more when I was skating. So, yeah. And also, for if you want to like be able to bend your knees more, you have to have like really strong ankles. So if you're able like to work on your ankle mobility and stuff like that and making your ankles stronger, it'll also help you be able to bend more. Most beautiful trip. Have you ever been in Europe, in Italy? Where would you go? I haven't been anywhere in a while, and I don't remember going out of the United States. So I've never been to Europe or Italy, but my dream is to go to Italy or Paris, because Paris is super duper pretty. But Italy, because the 2026 Olympics is in Milan, Italy, and I would be able to qualify for the 2026 Olympics, because I'm not allowed to qualify for the 2022 one because I'm too young. But I would be able to qualify for the 2026 one. So that would be cool if I could go to Italy either as a skater competing at the Olympics, which would be even better, or just going to Italy as like a visitor or like a spectator or something like that. What is your favorite type of skate? So I know everyone has different preferences, but my favorite is definitely Adidas, because they don't have any break-in time at all. You don't have to heat mold them or anything like that, which is like amazing. So you're not standing there with melting hot feet. And I also really like my pianos, that are the ones that I have right now, because they are super stiff. Like, they're the 95% stiff, and I love stiff skates because, one, they last longer, and whenever I tie my skates, I always tie them super duper tight just to make them even stiffer, because I just like having extra support around my ankles. Which Scratchman are you better at, forward spin or back spin? I would definitely say that I'm way better at back scratch, because for some reason whenever I try and do a forward scratch, it's not like I can't do one. It's just whenever I try to accelerate and get speed, my toe that's like in front always like gets stuck in the ice, and I always end up face planting. But like when I'm doing a back scratch, it doesn't happen because my toe just ends up scraping the ice even if it would touch. So I definitely say that back scratch is, one, better for me, and also a lot easier and fun. Are you homeschooled, private schooled, or public schooled? So I prefer the term of online school, like virtual school, because there's many different ways to describe homeschooling. And the school that I go to is virtual. It's all on a computer, so I can take it literally anywhere with me. And it's a public school, just on a computer, because I have live classes with like my teachers. I talk to my teachers, and I have like a schedule and everything like that. And I actually finished school already, so I'm really excited about that, and I finished my geometry EOC, which was my last one. So I'm completely done, and over the summer I'm taking driver's ed and critical thinking. And I'm really excited about driver's ed because I can't wait to learn how to drive a car. Have you had any severe ankle sprains causing you to step off the ice for a while? If you did, how did you recover your jumps? For me, luckily I haven't had something too serious or too bad, but when I did have my 2 ankles right back to back, as I mentioned earlier, the second one happened on a Saturday, and it was really, really bad because I barely was able to stand up after like I fell, and I'm not one that usually cries after like hurting myself because I have like a really high pain tolerance, I think, and I started crying because it hurt so bad, and whenever I hurt myself or like fall, my mom's like, and I'm like, Mom, don't worry unless I start crying. So she was like, this is serious. So then I had 2 days off, and I was back on Monday, and I didn't do many jumps on Monday. I just took it really easy, and I did a couple of singles, and then it took me 3 days, and I just took it super duper easy and simple and plain so that I wouldn't like hurt my ankle even more, because I was also like kind of scared to jump, but I was also really excited to get back to it. And every single day when I got home after like skating and stuff like that, I would ice it, and in the morning as well. And yeah, on the 4th day I got back and I started doing more doubles and stuff like that. Another thing that I feel like helped a lot with my ankle is that after I hurt my ankle for the second time, my mom was looking up ways to like tape an ankle to almost create like a cast on YouTube the entire weekend. And on Monday when I got back to skating, my mom was like taping my ankle using like this white athletic tape that's like super hard and like stiff. And she like created like this cast almost looking thing, but it's like super duper thin, but it's also like really stiff so that I'm able to bend and stuff like that, but it keeps my ankle in place, and it helps a lot because now I also feel more comfortable doing my jumps with it on. And even though this happened like half a year ago, my mom still does it because it just helps me mentally now, I guess. And yeah, I'm also like really nervous to hurt myself if I take it off, but my mom redoes the cast every other day, so I have it on for 2 days and then she redoes it, and that's how that works, and then I just take it off completely all of Sunday. Do you have to get your temperature checked at the rink? So right now they don't have to take our temperature, and they haven't like required a temperature check for like 3-ish months now, but before that they did require you to get your temperature checked before you were able to go into the rink. What is your goal as a figure skater? I've already answered this question multiple times, but I would definitely say making it to nationals as a senior lady and placing good, because that would be really good, and obviously the Olympics if I had the chance to make it. Why did you test it to junior in free skate? When I was looking up like the requirements for both novice and junior, like the time is literally almost exactly the same, and like the requirements, like the jumps and everything, especially watching like the novice skaters and junior skaters, they do like around the same types of jumps and stuff like that. And novice is pretty much like a pre-junior almost, because you have novice as like something where like you don't have as many competitions, because once you get to junior you can start competing internationally and stuff like that and going to more competitions and stuff like that, and you have more chances as a junior skater in skating. So that's why I decided to move up to junior. Pizza or sushi? So I would definitely say pizza because if you guys didn't know, I don't like seafood that much. I'm not like a huge fan of it. So actually I've never even tried sushi that many times, so I don't have a real opinion on that, but I would definitely say pizza as of right now. What means happiness for you? And that would definitely be skating, because every single time I'm on the ice I'm always super duper happy, especially if my jumps are working. If they're a bit iffy, or if my jumps aren't working in the way I want, then maybe not, but on good days, definitely skating. How old are you? And I am 14 and a half, exactly. Okay, so those are all of the questions that I got on my YouTube community tab, and now I'm going to go through the questions that I got on my Instagram. So let's start. So the first question I received is, what is my favorite program? And my favorite program is definitely my short program, and I'm keeping both of my free skate and my short program from like last year because I didn't compete with them at all. So I just decided to keep them, and I recut them so that it's like a different version a little bit, so that it's not exactly the same, because I'm kind of getting tired of the same song over and over again. So I'm keeping my songs just a little bit different, and I love my short program so much because like the song is amazing, and also mainly because of the dress is amazing. Next, I got what is your favorite moves in the field test you took. And that would definitely be my senior moves in the field test because it was the very last one and I was completely done with it after I passed. And also because the senior moves in the field test, in my opinion, are the easiest because you already learned everything that are in the moves in the field test before in previous tests. So they just took everything that you already learned and just put it in a little bit of a different pattern. So my friend Emma asked me what my favorite spin was. If you're watching this, Emma, it's definitely my layback. I hate layback so much. Okay, but in reality, my favorite is either, as I mentioned earlier, my change edge camel, butterfly, or death drop. And then also my other friend Lori, that's a coincidence that they came right after each other, asked what my favorite song to skate to is and also what my most traumatic memory of skating is. So my most traumatic memory is definitely where I cut my arm because I just blacked out for a second. I didn't even know what happened at first. I was just sitting on the ice like this. And yeah, that happened. And my favorite song to skate to is anything not in Sabrina's playlist. Sorry, Sabrina, but I like my own playlist. And yeah, pretty much all the songs in my playlist are my favorite. And yeah, I would probably say my two favorite songs right now are 1, Good For You, and 2, No Idea. Can you explain again how to do the kneeling jump or what it's called? Would be nice. The kneeling jump, I don't even know what the name of it is, but you pretty much start on both of your knees on the ground, obviously. And what I like to do, my main trick, is I go all the way back. So like pretend these are my knees and like I'm here. And then I go all the way back right before I'm about to jump like super duper quick. And like I go back and then I just jump up so like get momentum. That'll help me jump up in like the first place. And then with my arms, what I do is like I swing them all the way back behind me. When I'm like doing this motion, I swing them all the way back behind me, and when I jump, I bring them in like I'm doing like an air position, like super duper fast, and that also helps you get momentum so that you'll be able to jump. How is your double axel so good? You're amazing. Thank you so much, and it took me a long time to get my double axel the way that it is right now, but my main thanks goes to the Park City Ice Arena for doing all their amazing off-ice classes over like quarantine and everything like that. I'd like to thank Tiffany and Jeremy the most because they were the ones that helped me a lot with my jumps, and they were the people that actually got me to be able to do like a nice solid double axel. Because before quarantine, I couldn't do a double axel off ice. It was like half cheated all the time. And now with them, I'm starting to like work on triple axel off ice, which is really fun. And yeah, they helped me a lot on the ice, and I feel like their off ice training helped me a lot to like move that on the ice, which also helped my double axel become a lot better. Do you skate every day, and after how many years did you get your axel? I don't skate every day. I skate 6 days a week, which is I have Sunday off, and it took me 3 years to get my first axle and like 9-ish years to get my double axle. So 3 years was like when I first started skating, but like my time from actually starting to work on my axle, it took me about a year-ish, I think. I don't exactly remember, but for my double axle, from the first time starting to work on it, it took me around 2 years to get it. Then we have another one from one of my friends, so her name is Macy L. And she wrote, what is my favorite trick to do? And also, I miss you. I miss you too. Hopefully we'll be able to see each other soon this year at competitions. Or hopefully we'll just be able to skate together. And my favorite trick, I already mentioned this, but it would either be my split jump or my spiral. How do I pick my competition music? So for years before this one, the last 2 years I was the one that picked my music. I picked both of my last year's music, and then the year before that I picked my short program music. But before that, my coaches were the people that would pick my music for me. And I got really, really lucky last year that they liked the songs that I showed them, because I almost got it on the exact, like on the first try. I showed it to them and they were like, oh, wow. Anyways, I was so shocked that they actually liked it. And after that, I told my friends, and Ryan was like, listen to these songs. I want to make sure they're going to like it before I show it to them. So then I ended up listening to his songs, making sure that they would like it. And then anyways, so I found my free skate music because I stole it from one of the girls at the Junior Grand Prix because I really, really liked it and it was so good. And then for my short program music, I heard it when I was at the gym in a dance class. I heard it playing, like that's what they made like the dance to, and after like the class I went up to the teacher and I was like, what is this song? It's very interesting. And then I ended up finding it on YouTube, and we had to search for a girl version because my coach didn't want me to skate to like the original version since a guy was skating it, and then we found the girl version, and that's how we found my songs. How long have you been skating? I have been skating for, oh, it was really bad, 11 years! And yeah, I've been doing it since I was 3, and I'm turning 15 this year. So it'll be like 12 years this year. That's crazy. Do you have a coach because you never see one? Yes, I do have a coach. I have one coach, and I used to have 2, but now I only have 1. And yeah, I do have a coach, so don't worry about that. What will you study in the future? So, I still have 4 years left, but I just got accepted to Cambridge University. Yay! So I'm going to be doing the ACE program all my years of high school. I still have 4 years left since I'm only going to be a freshman next year. So I have some time to decide what I want to do. But as of right now, I either want to do something like in the sports field, like sports psychology or something like that, since I've already done like a bunch of sports in my life, and that would be pretty fun and cool. Or I would also want to do something like the electronical fields, like computer or like programming or stuff like that, because I really like programming and it's a lot of fun. And also, I would also like to go to film school because I love filmmaking, and that would also help me achieve my Oscar filmmaking dreams. And also, funny story, I was looking at like film schools, and I found this one that's like LA Film School or something. And I put in my email so that they could contact me with more information, and they ended up calling me, and I answered the phone. Actually, I hung up like 3 times because I was so scared to talk to them. And then they called me the 4th time, and then I answered, and I started talking to them. And then the guy was like, oh yeah, it would be so cool to have you in our film school program, blah, 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 blah. And the funny thing is, they even asked me what my graduation year is, and I put in 2024-ish? Yeah, I think I put that in. Anyways, and then he was like, what grade are you in? And I was like, well, I'm going into 9th. And he was like, what grade are you in? And I'm like, 8th. And then he was like, oh, yeah, sorry. I can't give you information until you're in 11th. Bye. And then just hung up on me. And I was like, what? So yeah, those are my future goals. When did you start taking skating seriously? So I technically say when I was 4. I started when I was 3, and when I was 4 I started having like private lessons and everything like that, and I started ballet for skating and everything, so that I took it really seriously. But as of like right now, I started taking it even more seriously in like the past 2 years, because I'm trying to like reach my goals and like become even better and stuff like that. So I've started to take it more seriously in like the past 2 years. Those were all of the questions that I received. Hopefully I was able to answer everyone's question. If you guys have any more questions that you want to ask me, just comment them down below on this video, and I'll try my best to answer questions in the comment section. And hopefully I'll try and make them detailed and stuff like that, and hopefully it will answer some of your guys' remaining questions that you have. But this is the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Love you guys. Bye!